Yes guys, welcome back to Hair System DIY. Great to have you back. If you're new, please do subscribe to my content. It's great to have as many of you on here as possible. Today I wanted to talk about finasteride because I came across an article this morning telling me that this particular medication, it's a hair loss, a very popular hair loss medication, otherwise known as Propecia, for anyone who's not familiar with it, although I suspect people who have hair loss, who are watching this, have probably at least given it a try. It's currently under investigation, so I'm going to be reading from this article explaining to you why it's under investigation, what this might mean for the future of this particular medication, and so on and so forth. So let's dive into this together. So I came across this article online this morning. It's interesting, there's a couple of articles on it. The one that I'm going to be reading to you from is from diabetes.co.uk. Not quite sure why it's on their website, but anyway, basically it's under investigation for severe or reports of severe side effects. Am I surprised? No. Did I potentially see this coming? Yes. After my own experience with this medication, after many other people's experience with this medication, and there's a few familiar things that have come up, stuff that I experienced, stuff that a lot of other people have experienced. The really sad thing about this is, though, guys, that a lot of these people aren't getting better, and maybe that's what's pushed the authorities to seriously, investigate this particular medication. Because, as I'll explain in the article, some of these people have had these symptoms that haven't gone away, and they've had them for about 20 plus years. Now, if you've been experiencing something for 20 years, there's a pretty decent chance it may never go away, which is quite scary. So let me read this. Health officials have launched a safety review of a commonly used hair loss drug, finasteride, otherwise known as Propecia, after the side effects associated with this medication reportedly increased by 30%. Now, it was quite high when I was using this medication, which was between 2007 and 2009. That was 14 years ago. And I think the amount of people, obviously we're never given all the information, but around then I think it was estimated that about 20 to 30% of people suffered side effects. So what do I mean by the side effects? I mean, erectile dysfunction was one of them. Penis shrinkage was another one. Depression, insomnia. Depression was certainly one that I got. And erectile dysfunction. Low libido was another one that I got. And at the time I was like 18 years old. And that's the last thing that you want. The last thing that you want is erectile dysfunction and low libido when you're 18 and you're at uni and you just want to have fun. One of the main reasons I actually stopped taking the medication. There's a few new ones here as well which are being investigated. A few new side effects which I haven't actually come across before. So one, apologies if I don't pronounce this correctly, but gynecomastia. I should have done my research on that. No idea what it is. Slurred speech is another one which, again, I haven't heard of. And then, the penis shrinkage, which I mentioned earlier. So now, health reports have revealed that at least 70% of people are experiencing side effects with Propecia. 70%. So why is this happening? Why has it gone from 30% to 70%? Could it be that they had never really done long-term trials of 10, 15, 20 years on this particular drug? Of course, with certain medications, the real side effects only become apparent after a number of years, which is why they trial cancer chemotherapy drugs for at least 7 to 10 years, because they want to make sure that there's no really bad, deadly side effects. They want to give it as much time as possible. A lot of people, they're saying as well, felt suicidal taking the drug, which is really sad. And I suppose that sort of plays into the depression narrative of side effects with this drug. So the manufacturers of finasteride, they're called Merck & Co. That name rings a bell. They have denied reports that the drug causes severe side effects. I would beg to differ on that, but at the same time, I know why they're doing this. They're just trying to protect their own interests, but it's not okay. It's pretty evil if you ask me, especially when people are suffering so much. So there's actually a name of a condition now which is associated with these side effects, and it's called post-finasteride syndrome. So it's post-finasteride syndrome. And there's actually a research association which has been set up by, I assume he's called Simon, I assume he is a sufferer of this himself. And this might be another one of the reasons, besides the lack of long-term trials on this. Another reason might be, he says, quote, online pharmacies are able to freely market this drug as a quick and easy fix to hair loss. This is true. So sometimes if I need a medication, if I need an antifungal or something, I will go online and I will use a trusted vendor that I get from India, All Day Chemist. And I noticed that they sold finasteride, and I thought, that's very odd, because when I needed finasteride, when I was on a minoxidil, you couldn't get it anywhere other than a pharmacy. I had to go into London and get this basically prescribed for me. I couldn't just go online without a prescription and order it. And I wonder if people are just taking too much, whether the instructions aren't clear enough. Maybe people are taking double or triple. Obviously, that would make the side effects even worse. So basically, the chairman of this post-finasteride syndrome Research Association is trying to get, number one, all of these vendors shut down from selling this stuff so it can only be available on prescription. Number one, I agree with that. But number two, I don't think this should still be available as a drug. You may want to disagree with me on that. You may have had an absolutely fine experience with finasteride. But what I can tell you is my experience, and a lot of other people who I've spoken to have had a really, really bad experience with this medication. And if you're considering taking this medication, I would really, really urge caution. So here's a quote from a guy called Ryan, 56 years old, who used to take finasteride. Quote, I've been suffering with post-finasteride syndrome since the late 1990s. That's 25 years, guys. 25 years of suffering from these very unpleasant symptoms, which are unexplainable. And you can only really attribute it to the drug itself. Trying to get the MHRA to take action since 2017. So the MRHA are the people investigating finasteride. Quote, people need to be properly informed about the risks attached to finasteride before taking it. These side effects have been devastating and made me progressively worse over the years. It sounds to me like this guy's side effects have been so long lasting and so profound that it's had a huge impact upon his life. He may not be able to work. He may not be able to have a social life. He may not be able to hold down a relationship. You know, if he's got penis shrinkage, if he has erectile dysfunction, if he's got low libido, these kind of things will have a massive impact upon your quality of life. So I sympathise a lot with him and many other people. I mean, luckily for me, the side effects went within about 3 months, but it was kind of scary for a period of time. And that's why I wouldn't really encourage people to go straight up for finasteride. You know, think about this carefully. Think about this very carefully, especially now that the drug itself, or the medication, is being investigated. Interestingly, they've spoken to a consultant dermatologist as well. Dr. David Fenton said, quote, the drug lowers your dihydrotestosterone, otherwise known as DHT, which I'm sure many of you with hair loss are familiar with. It lowers your DHT levels, but this is a hormone that the body needs. So if someone has low levels to begin with and they start taking finasteride, it's possible you might suppress their DHT intake completely, which might explain many of the rare but horrible side effects. So again, that's another reason why people might be getting these side effects. DHT is a hormone that we need. If it's suppressed in an already sort of suppressed DHT level body, there's a decent chance that it will create these kind of symptoms. He added, quote, it's not possible for online pharmacies to monitor patients. So in my opinion, they shouldn't be selling it. Any medication that should be given out, you should be monitored by a doctor or whatever. So it's concerning how widespread the practice of companies posting these pills out to patients has become. Yes, it is. And lastly, before I wrap up, one other chap who's suffering from this condition, this post-finasteride syndrome. These symptoms continued for years and life became a day-by-day struggle. This does sound like a really profoundly, physically debilitating condition. My erectile dysfunction was so bad that not even Viagra made a difference. Not even Viagra made a difference. I started taking this drug because everything I read said there were no risks. Yes, agreed. I remember when I first started taking this, I wasn't told about any risks. I was told it was a very safe drug. I wasn't even given a list of side effects. It was only once I spoke to the hair salon pharmacy that I was getting it from. I said, look, this is happening. It's just come out of nowhere. It doesn't seem to be connected to anything else. I've never experienced anything like this before. What's going on? And they said, yeah, that can happen in a very small percentage of people with who are taking finasteride. I think they mentioned like 1 in 1,000, which immediately to me I thought, that's really rare. Is it really that rare? And then I came across so many other people who are suffering from these side effects. I'd say in my experience of speaking to people who've taken finasteride, it's up to 50%. Up to 50% of people have had some sort of side effect with this medication. So really, really, you have to take a long, hard think if you're going to consider taking this medication, because there is a chance that if you do get side effects, and it's clear that side effects are common, there is a chance that the side effects won't go away. Okay? Now, there are, of course, other options that you can consider. The most obvious one, the one that I went for, is getting a hair system. There's no side effects with a hair system. Yes, you might have to spend an hour or so every couple of weeks taking it off, cleaning it and rebonding it, but it's not a medication. It doesn't have any sort of negative effect. Okay, you might get a little bit of redness on your scalp every now and then, but that's pretty much it. You might be allergic to one of the ingredients that you might use in a tape or a glue. That's fine. You can move to a different tape or glue. But I definitely wouldn't be looking now, especially after reading this, I wouldn't be looking at taking finasteride as a first port of call for hair loss. There are other solutions out there, so please do consider it. If you're interested in getting a hair system, if you like the look of my one, mine are from LaVivid. I'm going to put the coupon code box in the description box below with the link to the system that I'm wearing. It's an ultra thin skin. It's about 3 months old now. 3 months for an ultra thin skin. That's not bad, guys. And it's really comfortable. So if you're considering that, look in the description box below and you can check out that discount code box and you can use it as many times as you like. If you're enjoying my content, guys, please do subscribe. If you've liked the video, please do like it, share it. This is important information. This needs to be more out there. I may well post more about this because this is a concerning development and it'd be really interesting to see what the regulators come back with. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Please whack some comments in the comments box below. Let me know, have you taken finasteride before? What was your experience with it? Did you experience side effects? Are you still experiencing side effects now? Please do let me know and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye for now.